got your week 3 waiver wire pickups for you today. Week 2 was pretty insane. There was a lot of things that we're learning about these teams and a lot of surprises. But before we get into it, if you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, it helps us out a ton and it'll help you out too so you know when new videos like this go live. Let's get into it. Starting off, we have wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rashad Perryman. The Buccaneers are dealing with a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position, with Julio Jones now dealing with a knee injury that held him out of Sunday's matchup against the Saints, as well as Chris Godwin dealing with a hamstring injury. And on top of all that, Mike Evans is being suspended 1 game due to the fight that broke out between him and Marshon Lattimore on Sunday. So the team's going to be very thin at the wide receiver position. Rashad Perryman played 75% of the snaps, the most of any wide receiver on the team in Sunday's matchup. So I expect him to be one of the lead guys for Tom Brady going into Sunday's matchup against the Green Bay Packers. And this guy's widely available. So if you have a need for a wide receiver, Rashad Perryman is someone that you may want to take a look at. Next, we have wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, Dorch. Dorch is the name that you've probably been hearing over the past couple of weeks, due to the amount of volume he's been seeing with the Cardinals being so thin at the wide receiver position. Rondale Moore is dealing with a hamstring injury, Andy Isabella is dealing with a back strain, and obviously DeAndre Hopkins is serving his suspension and is not expected to be back until week 7. So in the meantime, I think Dorch is someone that you could take a look at. He's widely available throughout leagues out there, and this guy's on the field a lot. In week 1, he played 91% of snaps. Week 2, he played 71% of snaps. So I think he's definitely worth taking a look at if you have a need for wide receiver. Next, we have running back for the Miami Dolphins, Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert was the lead back for the Miami Dolphins on Sunday, carrying the ball 11 times for 51 yards, compared to Chase Edmonds' 5 carries for 33 yards. Now, I don't necessarily think that he's going to be the lead back every single week, but I definitely think he's worth rostering in leagues. He's about 50% owned throughout leagues out there, so there's a good chance that he's available in your league right now, and this guy definitely needs to be rostered. Next, we have running back for the Arizona Cardinals, Daryl Williams. Daryl Williams is someone I'm taking a look at this week. With James Conner dealing with an ankle injury, it's unsure if he's going to miss any time with the injury. The team said that it's not serious or long term, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't suit up this week. So I'm looking to Daryl Williams over Eno Benjamin. He was the more effective back on the ground. He had 8 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown after James Conner left the game. So he's the guy that I'm looking at. So if you have James Conner and you want a backup, I'm going to go and look at Daryl Williams. Next, we have tight end for the Washington Commanders, Logan Thomas. If you're struggling at the tight end position, which a lot of us are, Logan Thomas may be someone that you want to take a look at. Over the first couple of weeks, he hasn't been too shabby. In week 1, he had 6 targets for 3 receptions and 45 yards. In week 2, he had 5 targets for 3 receptions, 37 yards, and a touchdown. This team is constantly playing from behind, so that means they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. So if you need a tight end, Logan Thomas may be someone you want to take a look at. Next, we have our quarterback of the week, Marcus Mariota. And look, he has a great matchup against the Seattle Seahawks this week, and he has that rushing upside, which we love for fantasy. I think if Marcus Mariota is going to have a big week, going to be against the Seattle Seahawks defense, which is not that good. I think the only reason why they look good against the Denver Broncos is because they know Russell Wilson in and out. They have so much tape on Russell Wilson. He was with the team for 10 years. So I would hope that they would know Russell Wilson by now. So that's why I think the Seattle Seahawks defense was able to shut down Russell Wilson. But going against the Atlanta Falcons this week, I think Marcus Mariota could be a viable fantasy option if you're streaming quarterback. Last, we have our defense of the week, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Washington Commanders this week, and we know Carson Wentz loves to throw interceptions, so I like this Eagles defense this week, who just shut down the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. But that's going to do it for us today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, line them up!